And welcome to another episode of the Bandit Room. My name is Charles. I'm joined here in the studio today by Mr. Caleb.
Hello.
Mr. Aggie.
What's up?
Back in the studio after a little break.
That's right. I was staying away from you guys.
A long break. Aggie, you've been gone for so long.
I'm totally recovered from being away from you guys.
And just for that, we had to shut the show down for a few weeks, too.
That's not true. That's not true. You guys were too busy waiting in line to buy tickets for that movie. What was that?
Oh, Black Panther?
Yeah. I thought you guys were too busy waiting in line for that, so left you guys alone.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Thank you for respecting that. We got a special guest in the studio today. Mr. Tom Fogarty is the CEO of Bestpass. We're pleased to have you join us here in the studio. We've recently announced a big acquisition that you made here with the acquisition of ExpressTruckTax from Span Enterprises.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for working so hard and making sure we had a good basis for partnership. And more importantly, thanks for welcoming me to the inaugural visit to the studio today.
Well, yeah, we appreciate it making the time for us here. We had another meeting, and we appreciate you working us in to be able to join the Bandit Room as well on your tour of Rock Hill and Span Enterprises. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a little bit about your background, your previous position, what brought you to Bestpass.
Yeah, sure. I've been in technology for the last 30 years and working with figuring out how to grow and scale companies. Gotcha. And, the best ones have a couple things in common. They find a pretty elegant and simple solution to a vexing problem, price it right, and then deliver outstanding customer service. So that's one of the things that when I started talking with Aggie about a potential partnership or combination with the ExpressTruckTax business, we had a lot in common, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of underlying basic principles that meant we're going to make an awful lot of common success together. Fantastic.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your professional history. Before Bestpass, you founded a company, right? You started a company?
I got in at early stage. I was part of a bank consortium that was spun out, kind of taken private and for-profit by Bain Capital, and I was the first manager brought in. Gotcha. At the time I joined, it was about $1 million in revenue and limping along a little bit. There's a lot of bank consortium started businesses that are carcasses on the side of the road. There's a couple of good ones, and we wanted to be one of the good ones. So it was nice. We took that from about $1 million in revenue and losing all kinds of the bank's money to right-sizing it on a pretty good couple of products, and then grew that over an 11-year period. Before Moody's, the big credit company, came and made our investors an offer they couldn't refuse.
Gotcha. Now, was Mitt Romney involved in Bain Capital at the time, or was that?
I think he'd already stepped aside to go on his political career. But
it's always the first thing I do. Someone who brings up Bain Capital.
That's right.
Mitt Romney's company.
He definitely created a lot of that money that probably went into the early business.
So, Tom, real quick on that, since you're talking about banking business, why is it that there's always a roll-up or acquisition of smaller banks by the larger banks in a non-stop cycle? Like if the bank that we are with, we've been with them from
like five different names.
Five different names.
From the time you started.
But it's the same people still working there.
Right. And we actually serviced a lot of the big banks that were going through that and the smaller mid-sized ones that were getting gobbled up. So we had a couple of decent deals with smaller regional companies and then just about to sign, and then all of a sudden they said, oh, you got to talk to the people at Wells, or you got to talk to the people at Bank of America, because we've just signed an agreement to get acquired. So it's all about economies of scale. When you're a big bank, you're going to grow essentially at whatever the gross domestic product is growing at any point. If you want to grow faster, you find businesses to buy and leverage off of, either new technology that can drive some outsized growth, or just buy customers. And that's what we see every day of the week. It seems like there's a new announcement.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what led you to Bestpass? Tell the listeners, for those who don't know, what Bestpass is and what you've done there so far.
Yeah, sure. Well, taking a step back from that, after the last business, I promised my wife she'd at least get the summer of Connie and Tom, and we'd travel the world, see places we'd always wanted to get to but never had a chance to for at least 6 months. Maybe even the year of Tom and Connie. And we sold the business on February 14th of 2020, Valentine's Day, so it was a good day for a send-off. But very quickly, the world changed.
Yeah.
Right.
And all of a sudden, traveling the world wasn't that much of an alternative. So I might as well go back and do what I love, which is building businesses that have found a formula into decent growth and great businesses. And so I went looking for a dream business, one that I thought was serving a pretty good purpose, one that was growing decently, but hadn't quite figured out the formula yet for both consistent growth as well as figuring out how to scale. And so I came into a business that was in the 20s in terms of revenue, but most importantly for me, it had customers that once they signed up, they never left. And they give us unbelievable sky-high ratings compared to the old net promoter scores we'd get from banks. Our customer service ratings are off the charts. It's the happiest group of customers that I've ever met because we take good care of them and we solve a critical problem. And when you have that going for you, it gets a lot easier to grow. You just have to find a way as you grow to continue to deliver great service, to continue to innovate, to drive that growth and move forward. But if you've got customers that never leave and they trust you with their business and their money, and they'll keep coming back for more as you have more to sell them.
Yeah, awesome. Wow,
Right,
fantastic. You can talk a little bit about how you've grown it during the pandemic. As I understand, you've kind of embraced the virtual model. You've picked people from all over with various skill sets.
Yeah, definitely. So March and April of 2020 were pretty interesting. I was in the interview cycle then, so I didn't actually start until June 1st.
Yeah.
But by that time, our customers, who are really driving the lifeblood of the supply chain, had already rejigged and figured out a way to restock the shelves with toilet paper, keep in a distributed model, delivering food and other goods to keep the economy running, and really did a great job. And our mission to, at that point, simplify toll management for them so big rigs could go coast to coast without worrying about carrying cash or pulling over to pay and congestion, all the rest of that. We were able to help simplify their mission in going forward. So as we expanded the team, I think I was the 90th employee when I got there. We're now bumping up against 150. And it was, first off, it's a pleasure in uncertain economic times to be able to grow a team.
Yeah.
Secondly, we were growing a team when a lot of additional developers and product folks, they were kind of hard to attract. And in our local market in the Capital District of New York, Albany's our headquarters, we were able to get some really solid people. I think we're a leading, if not the leading technology company in the Capital District. But we couldn't satisfy our hunger for more in just that region. So we actually have gone with a distributed model. I think of our 150 employees now, 115 maybe are in the capital region, and others we've added wherever we could get them, provided we were able to prove that we could support that kind of distributed model. So salespeople are working wherever they could be, close to the customers. Developers, we've got a few different concentrations around the states. I've hired some members of my old team. So yeah, it's a little distributed. Our town hall is not get everybody in the room. Maybe we get that once a month, but other than that, it's definitely a Zoom world these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how often are people checking back in at the headquarters in Albany?
So I get for sure the management team together at least, full day session once a month to review strategy, review how we're doing, how it's going, and one day a month isn't a ton when you're trying to build a great culture.
Right.
And we're succeeding with it. We're doing all kinds of virtual bingos and online games, happy hours, and all those kinds of things to keep the momentum going. But for sure, once a month for management team, at least once a quarter for all employees. We're having our Christmas party, holiday party, coming up on this Thursday. And everybody, no matter where you are in the world, is invited to all expense paid trip to Albany and come and experience some of the fine cuisine and camaraderie that we've lined up.
I think Tom figured that out, strategized it, invite them right in the middle of winter, man. Let's see how many of them turn up.
Yes, my big bank clients that like to have annual reviews. For some reason, all the ones in Minneapolis, Chicago, and things like that. Those annual reviews would be in January. But the customer's always right.
Yeah, for sure. Now, tell us about what led you to this, the recent acquisition of ExpressTruckTax. Did you always have in mind that you were looking for some kind of 2290 provider, or what was your line of thinking in looking to expand Bestpass and reach out into new markets?
Right. One of the things we did about, as I reached about the 1 year anniversary, was talk about where we really wanted to take the business. We went through a formal 3-year strategic plan. We talked about what we're really good at, which is simplifying the complex, through the use of technology and solving a real headache for our clients. Nothing about that said toll, right? Toll was a foundation. Toll was an entry point. And when you're dealing with 50 different tolling authorities with various levels of advanced through archaic technology and making that all simple to get one data set to analyze, to manage your programs with, we did a pretty good service there, but we started thinking about how we could do more, right? And I talk to our truck fleet clients all the time. It's probably 25% of my time is client-facing, and a lot of that's by Zoom as well, some in person. But every time I ask them, what can we do more? And oftentimes we're doing a good enough job today in toll management, so they don't have any great ideas in that area. But they say, if only you could solve this challenge that we have in this other area of fleet management. We frequently sell to the same people who are managing tax and the same buyers. In smaller fleets, we're selling to the guys who manage everything in keeping the vehicles on the road. And in some of those conversations, it gets really interesting in terms of, boy, if you guys could offer all these services in one type of package and deliver the same great solution and service behind it, it would be my lucky day. And when a client tells you that, you've got to do it. So we started expanding into areas that were beyond toll. We introduced our own homegrown product for citations management and payments earlier this year. And we're looking at...
For those that may not be familiar, you want to explain a little bit about citations for the industry?
Sure. So within toll management, you've got the need to run toll, pay toll, and account for toll. If you get that formula wrong, then you end up with something that's called violations. So there's those certificates that you get in the mail that says you incurred $5 worth of toll, and here's your $25 manual fee to go with it. And then if you don't pay that in a week, then here's your $50 penalty on top of it. Within citations, it's even a little bit more draconian. So citations are any kind of enforcement that's done electronically, often by photo. So things like red light cameras, speed cameras, parking violations, and things of that nature all fall into citations. And those come with real fleet liability and real owner-operator liability, where if you don't pay those things, not only can you get the fines adding up really quickly, you can actually get your vehicle pulled off the road, end up on the bad list. Gotcha. So those are mission critical to be able to take care of. We found a lot of our customers, because they have to, have methods for taking care of those quickly and expeditiously, but not efficiently. And we figured if we come in, add a layer of automation in, and be able to have that assurance that the second we get it, it's either going to be disputed or it's going to be paid, right? And take the issue off the table. We didn't see anybody that was good in the market, so we had no alternative but to build it ourselves. When it comes to heavy vehicle use tax, we found somebody that was really good in the market, somebody that's taken the same sophisticated approach to building technology and had great service reputation. And so it was a logical outreach to Span Enterprises and Agi to talk about the ETT product.
Express Tax Exempt is now tax990.com. We changed our name to make it even easier to recognize us, but everything you know and love about Express Tax Exempt is still here. Tax990.com still provides you with easy Form 990 filing, free schedules, great customer support, and much more. Learn more at tax990.com.
We need to clear out something about him being a Eagles fan. I know you guys are doing really, really well this season.
EAGLES. Come to one game and you'll never have any doubt ever again of how to spell that.
So we are season ticket holders for the Panthers, and the last 8 years that I've held the season tickets, there's been 2 home games for us, away games for Eagles to come there. And I have to tell you, you guys are the worst fans.
Not if you're one of them.
That's good. It's good. I've watched a few of the games this season. I've been traveling a lot, so I didn't get a chance. But congratulations, you guys are doing really well this year.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts, the improvement that he's had in his first 2 seasons from his first rookie year, it's been amazing.
Yeah, so we are Panther. I'm a Panther fan. Charles is a Panther fan. We are season ticket holders, and we support our Panthers no matter what happens.
It doesn't mean we're not embarrassed. It doesn't mean
we are not embarrassed. But here's the best part: the media never talks about Panthers, sports media. Mm-hmm. So there's no big hype about it. Right. So we just play low and go with it.
There's that team that went to the Super Bowl that one time many years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I did grow up a Cubs fan.
Okay.
In the 70s. So
familiar with underdog
talk about
stories.
It was just a good time at the old ballpark. You didn't go expecting a win.
That's the culture we're developing here at Carolina Panthers. We just want camaraderie and good times.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do you do in your free time, Tom? I mean, are you into golf or anything like that, or?
So I'm looking forward to traveling the world. But
okay.
I like a lot of things that start with S. So sun, sand, surf, and actually surfing. I really like snorkeling and scuba. So I'm going to be doing some of that soon. I just did my recertification after I dusted off the fins and mask last Saturday in the pool.
Wow,
So you guys are going opposite directions.
Times. Yes.
Aggie just gets his pilot's license. You're getting your scuba certificate. Aggie's going to the sky. You're going underwater.
I was big into scuba diving. I used to work on cruise ships, so that's all I did. Every port we went to, I couldn't wait to go scuba dive. And then one day I just I'm done.
Yeah.
I sold my entire gear to my roommate and I never went back to it.
Right. Nice. My youngest son had I don't know how he got us to sign up for this deal, but he did a semester at sea the summer before last. And it was 72 days in the South Pacific.
Oh, wow.
Where he went from his normal certification up to rescue diver certification and went to a whole bunch of my bucket list. Just all around the South Pacific and French Polynesia.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Vicariously lived through.
That's a good way to do it. So young Caleb here is big into movies, old movies, or classic movies. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you into movies, Tom? Are you a big movie fan?
A little bit, but I wouldn't say that I'm a particular movie historian.
Okay.
So I do like some of the classics. I mean, one of the scariest things I ever saw was The Birds.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch that again, but I think it'd be pretty funny to watch it now with some of the old effects.
Yeah.
But how about you?
I do like watch movies. Yeah, but again, I'm such a ADD. I cannot sit through anything for the whole thing.
Yep.
But if it's an interesting movie, drama, dialogue, I'll be into it.
What about holiday movies? It's that time of year.
God, no, I don't do any of
What's your favorite holiday movie?
Charles does that. Obviously, he's got a newborn son. So have you hooked him up on holiday movies yet?
Yeah. We've watched Muppet Christmas Carol is probably one of my favorites. I was watching that recently. That's pretty good.
Nice.
But our office Christmas party is obviously themed on Elf, so that's another top one. That's really good up there.
Yep. Caleb, where does the Wonderful Life stack in amongst the classics?
That's a good question. I don't love Christmas movies. I do like that's a good one. It's a solid.
Die Hard's my favorite.
You're one of those guys. Like, Die Hard's my favorite.
I just saw. Did you guys see about Violent Night? This movie that just came out. Where
I heard about it.
It's basically
Santa's
so
a murderer.
stupid. Yeah. So he ends up stuck in this house where this sort of robbery taking place, and he has to save everybody by being extremely violent. So it just sort of messes with all the Christmas tropes, but still has this weird believe in Christmas message in it too. So it's this weird mishmash of genres. Very strange, very stupid, but enjoyable.
So Tom, you've been talking to Charles at least for the last part of 4 or 5 months now. He's an aspiring actor.
Aspiring actor.
Very nice. Definitely got a voice built for radio.
I think
that should be good. Tom has a tight schedule, so it should be good for today.
All right, cool.
We just wanted to come and
thanks for having me.
Have a chat with you, that's all.
Yeah, well, it's been delightful to know you guys in a different vein. But I've enjoyed getting to know you guys on the business side as well.
Awesome.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. Stick around next week and see what we talk about in the Bandit Room. Be sure to like, follow, comment, and subscribe.
The Bandit Room is a production of Span Enterprises, located in sunny Rock Hill, South Carolina. We've been developing, supporting, and growing successful IRS e-filing and business management solutions since 2010. Go to spanenterprises.com now to learn more. The views and opinions expressed in the Bandit Room are those of the guests, and do not necessarily reflect or state the opinions of Span Enterprises.